Have you ever go to school where existence of bully or insult never exists inside the school, where the number is zero? We believe there are none. Even once in a while, in a very best school with a very strict policy, those kind of insult or bullying will actually be happen. Thus, the government goes to the extent of punishment banning the school directly. This is the problem that we're talking about. Of even a form of one insult comment inside the social media will lead towards the banning of a social media that is so useful in many ways, which they cannot even portray at all. Now, first of all, we as the government team already tried to prove to you through how the status quo is already there, enhancing policy, enhancing punishment to those who broke it, and also why this kind of punishment that is given by the government in banning social media will actually lead towards injustice. Now, before going further towards my explanation, I would like to give some rebuttals. The first rebuttal goes towards why is this exclusive? They believe that a form of comment in the form of insult will result in bad things, and thus they believe that social media should be blamed for this. That's why government want to ban them. Now, those kind of comment also goes directly towards news, blogs, internet access, and also YouTube. This form of insult will goes there, and thus the government only stop on social media. This is the question. Never did the government side of the house prove to us why social media is that exclusive that the government have to take the extent even for one form of insult in their social media leading towards a ban. This cannot be justified. And second of all is the rebuttal about why does this parameter not only, they say that the parameter is a form of how suicide will exist and so on and so forth. We believe that inside a social media there's a comment, there is a form of just talking, insult, and the other way around, a form of support. When you're doing something bad and you want to talk your life inside it, sometimes we get insult. Hey, you're so weak, why are you doing that? Other people will also form a countermeasure, a form of support. And if we are taught wisely inside school, inside the government system, that we have to think the positive things, we will not only gain the form of insult that most will damage us more, but also a form of support that will bring us up higher and higher and higher. Those are the things that actually exist in social media, and thus it is very beneficial. We believe that yes, several cases still exist because of the social media failure, but we cannot just directly punish them to the extent of not letting them, banning them so they will not exist anymore. We believe that that kind of punishment is too much. Now we also hear something very funny from the affirmative team when they're actually talking this social media is so massive, creating so many insults, and thus leading to many form of how their law enforcement is too weak inside the government, making this case cannot be solved one by one. They're actually proving that the problem exists inside the country, the government that cannot have a suitable law enforcement, making them blaming those punishment only towards the social media itself. And we believe that their argument is actually irresponsible because they're putting the blame only towards the social media while not correcting themselves. Now goes towards our case. Before that, leave your art.
But sir, in status quo right now, education is accelerated already there. For example, in your home you cannot say bad things, and schools also like that. So I think warning is already there. Thank you.
And thus it exists in social media law, term and agreement when you're signing it. And if you broke those kind of rules, the social media have the right to ban those those accounts directly. It exists, and thus those are the things that the status quo already exists, and the form of enhancements towards their coding and etc. is also there. But it will never be 100% zero insult existing through many forms of way. It is impossible. Now goes towards our first case. The first argument goes towards will punishing social media be effective? We believe that a form of insult comes from individual attitude, and thus one of the methods is through social media. We believe that form of insult will go and change. If right now we have social media and then the government will ban those social media, at the end of the day, the people who are insulting inside the social media will turn away from social media because there will be no social media anymore and will directly insult in front of those people. And we believe that under those ideas, the form of insult directly is much more harsh in any way. And second of all, it is also bad in the form of control. Inside the social media, there are form of people who hate you for several reasons, and some people who support you. And sometimes those people who support you and becoming your friends can control what is really happening inside the status, inside the comment, and thus will have a form of better control in helping you when there's a form of insult. We believe that the idea of social media in that form of bullying is actually there more curative rather than we are banning social media in the first place. Thus, we believe that the effectiveness of bullying and of banning this insulted comment will not lead towards any betterment, but only worst case scenario, a direct insult, a form of less control from even society, parents, and etc. And thus, we believe is bad. We believe that once in a social media, so many comments are there from racism and etc. But people learn, ladies and gentlemen, they learn that there are forms of social judgment. When you're giving a form of comment that is bad, people will exist in there and give many form of comment. And if you read it carefully, your knowledge will be so wide, and you will understand what is the social judgment value that exists in Facebook and also in the world. And thus, people will learn what to not bully and what to not insult inside of Facebook. And thus we believe that this is a better way to have social media, even if there still exists a form of insult. Second form of idea is that we believe under the idea of comparison of good and bad. The benefit of social media is a place for closure, a place for wider link and perspective, a place for business, and many forms of potential that have been given you right now. The very main focus is this, that social media nature is very massive. This massive benefit would lead toward a form of many potential things that we believe more beneficial for each of the users. And if at the end of the day the government would like to ban it in a form of small petty things like insult, picture, wording, and indirect insult, when we are comparing towards benefit and detriment, at the end of the day, the comparison of good is so much more. And thus, we still believe under the idea that social media should not be punished if there still exists a form of insult in the comment. Thank you.